All right, we'll go ahead and get started. My name is David Beeching. I'm with UAB IT. And as you guys saw in the email, we're about to start the process of converting distribution lists to Office 365 groups. This is something that we've been talking about for a while, and I know a number of you are aware of it. What this means is that any mail-enabled security group or distribution list that we currently have will be converted into an Office 365 group. This process is going to take place over the course of the coming year. So how it'll work is you guys will submit a ticket to Ask IT with the group that you want converted, and then we'll run a process on that group and convert it on that distribution list and convert it into an Office 365 group. Now, if any of those groups are both security groups and distribution lists, the security group will be renamed to something with like a P in it. It'll have the same group name with a -P, and the mail-enabled portion of it will be removed. Once it's converted to an Office 365 group, you will have the ability to manage your members again, rename the group, and have a number of additional features such as a SharePoint site, team site, planner site, a number of Office 365 integrations. They're actually really quite neat. So go ahead and if you guys have any questions, put them in the chat. It's going to be a fairly simple process. You guys will, like I said, just submit a ticket with the group information and then to Ask IT. And you have over the course of the next year to do it. Any groups that are unclaimed after that year, the mail-enabled portion will be removed and the group will be deleted. No, these are not listservs. These are actually just distribution lists. Anything that's on the listserv is not going to change. In addition to this process, we have a couple of other things we're going to be doing, like expiring groups after a year. So this will help clean up our Active Directory and get rid of a whole bunch of unused groups that have been sitting around for quite a while. And Stephen Johnson will be talking a little bit about that process coming up. I see we have a couple of people about to ask questions. Yes, Jason, we're about to, we have a number of those all being written currently. This process is going to start taking place the week of August 20th, Monday the 20th. And then officially starting September 1st, 2018 to September 1st, 2019. That's the year that you guys have to submit your group requests from distribution list to group. I'm using the two terms hopefully not confusingly. Distribution lists are going away and everything is going to be an O365 group. And yeah, those resources will be published in the ServiceNow site once we have them all. And Stephen, is there anything you want to talk about the expiration portion?
Yeah, I can go ahead and talk about that. I see that it looks like two more people are typing, but we can kind of cover that now. As Dave mentioned, we're going to enable group expiration policy today. And historically, when you create a group, they're there forever, whether you continue to use it or you abandon it altogether. Once we enable this policy, it'll have a lifetime of 365 days. So any group that was created prior to this being this policy being enabled, the countdown would start from when the group was created. So there could be some notifications going out sooner than 365 days. So keep that in mind. But essentially, what happens is 30 days, 15 days, and 1 day prior to that expiration date, the owner of the group will get an email. It's a very simple, it's obvious email. It's got a big red button in it that says Renew Group. If you want to continue using that group, you click that button and it renews it for another year. If you miss it for whatever reason, it expires. That group will be available to us as administrators for 30 days, and we could go in and retrieve that for you or restore that group. Also, there's a self-service way for the group owner to do a restore as well. All of those KBs have been written and I believe published. If not already, they will be published soon. So that is a big part there. We're pretty excited about that because that's going to help you guys and us keep the directory cleaner. Another big part of that is the naming policy that we've created. Initially, when we migrated to Office 365, we had to disable group creation and the use of groups because there was no way for us to administer any kind of control of the naming of a group. So we recently put out an Azure group policy that enforces a prefix of GRP dash to any group. So that's going to allow us to enable self-service group creation. So in addition to the expiration, with having this policy in place now, we also plan on enabling self-service group creation. So any faculty, staff, student that has an active Office 365 mailbox can go in and create their own group. Just keep in mind, like I said, any group that gets created, whether it is a planner site or eventually when we roll out Microsoft Teams groups and things like that, they will all be prefixed with GRP dash and then whatever name you choose to give them.
So yes, to answer your question, Philip, then you can wait till you guys move into the new building, and then you can create those groups just as O365 groups instead of distribution lists first and have them converted. And Mark, yes, I believe you can turn off any of those features you want to, and when you create the group. So yeah, if anybody has any questions, go ahead and just keep typing them in the chat window, and we'll get to them as we can. And absolutely feel free to send us an email too if you have something that you think will take longer, or if you need some more in-depth information. Right, so just keep in mind that you have a full year to do this. So you have time to gather the information that you need. We will have something published in Box, and we'll send that link out to everyone on Tim Group once we get that ready. And please feel free to pass that on to anybody else that you know that manages groups or distribution lists.
Yeah, so to answer your question, Dan, once a distribution list gets converted to an Office 365 group with that policy in place, it will add the GRP dash to the name of the group. But that email address, all of the original SMTP addresses that were associated with the address or the group will still be there. Um, so it wouldn't be any issue as far as, if you were sending to group name at mail.ad.uab.edu, you could continue doing that. You wouldn't have to change it to be grp dash group name at mail.ad.uab.edu.
Yeah, Daniel or Dan and Mark, you can turn those features off during the group creation process. So you can just have a group as a regular distribution list without having all the additional features if that's something that you want. And Philip, I'm not. I'm not 100% sure what you're asking there for tree of lists. You could create the group. It's really just like how group creation was. You'll just be picking members as you wish. If you need nested groups, then
Yeah,
yes.
can you hear me now? I unmuted my microphone.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. What I'm looking at is we have several lists that we basically have an overarching list for basically everybody involved in the School of Business, which is and what we call BUS users currently. Then under that, you would have basically subgroups. And if you send to BUS users, everything in the subgroup would get that email, even though they're not officially a member of the BUS users, but they are in one of the subgroups that belongs to the umbrella, so to speak. Does that make any sense at all?
Yeah, so like nested groups.
Yeah.
Yeah, that should work. I believe Steven has tested that way back when we had this first town hall.
Yeah, because
A
we
month or
we
so
have,
ago.
like I said, we have like an overarching for BUS users, and under that you would have the individual departments for accounting and finance and management marketing or whatever. Then under that you would have the faculty list and the staff list, and under faculty list, depending on their voting rights with tenure and all of that mess. So it makes life a lot easier to be able to keep that in one place, and then they would just be able to send to whatever subgroup or the overarching group for say all faculty, or if they needed just tenure faculty, then they would have that as a subgroup they could send to. So
Okay.
yeah, nested would be a better term.
Yeah, that's possible.
Okay, good deal.
Uh, right. Active Directory security groups are not going to be impacted. If it's currently mail enabled, it will be renamed. The at WBHM groups, I believe, will be converted as well. Stephen could correct me if I'm wrong.
Yes, yeah, they would be in scope.
Yes, same name. So really, this is pretty good because it's going to give the power back to you guys and to all of anyone that uses any kind of a distribution list. So you guys won't have to be constantly putting in tickets just to have one created or to add or remove members. That once we move to O365, that ability was lost, and now this is going to give that all back to you guys. It should recognize the change, Philip. Correct, Jason. If it's mail enabled and you request it to have it converted, the distribution list portion of it will be moved to an O365 group. The on-premise group will be de-mail enabled, and it'll be renamed into something with like HRM-P, the name of the group. So yeah, you'll have two, one for security purposes and one for mail purposes. Correct, you will. We have more folks asking questions, so we'll wait. If you use the RA tool, you can add group members yourself. And then with the new O365 groups, you have that ability as well. And if you need access to the RA tool, that would be a ticket for Ask IT, and they can help get you set up for that. Okay, we'll give folks yeah, in the RA tool, you do, yes. You have permissions to manage your group members.
Let me step in here too. So some of you guys might not be OU administrators, right? You might have somebody that provides support. I know, for example, if you get your desktop support from the campus desktop support group, they're the OU administrators. They're going to be the ones that work in the RA tool. If you're just the consumer of this group and they make you the manager of the group, then you can set your the membership through Outlook or Outlook on the web. That's how you would manage it. If you're an OU administrator, like Philip or somebody from desktop, then you would have access to the RA tool, and you could manage group creation for Active Directory groups only. So we're not going to be doing new group creation through the RA tool for mail-enabled groups. And then you would also be able to manage group membership for on-premise groups through AD users and computers. But if you're trying to manage group members for these Office 365 groups, these cloud groups, you're going to have to do it through Outlook or Outlook on the web. Yes, Philip, if you'll contact Ask IT and just put in a request for a group, we'll create one for you.
These are all great questions so far, so yeah, keep them coming.
No, if you're an OU administrator for anybody out in distributed IT, if you're just a supported user, then you're right. You do not have access to the RA tool, and you don't need it. That is RA stands for Remote Administration. It is a tool that was developed in house for distributed IT and desktop services to do some of the basic AD related tasks.
All right, do we have any more questions? And like I said, absolutely feel free to email me or Steven any questions that you guys have that you may think of. And as I said, you have over the course of the year to get these done. Now, that doesn't mean wait till August of 2019 to throw them all in, and we'll get started doing it the week of August 20th. Yeah, Daniel, I'll upload this town hall as well into the ServiceNow site, and that'll be with all the other documentation. So if there isn't anything else, I really appreciate you guys for coming in and asking questions. I think this will be a real positive thing for you guys moving forward. So I wait. Jessica is typing a message, so we'll wait. Do you mean will multiple people have the ability to add members? We can, yeah, we can. There can be multiple owners, I believe, on O365 group. So it doesn't all just fall on one person, and they can be reassigned as well. So if someone leaves the university, that's a group owner. Yes, Jason, they do have a SharePoint site and I think there's a planner board and a Teams site. Teams is something that's going to be coming very soon. That will be the Skype replacement. Philip, you can set it up either way. You can have it so that it rejects external people and some that, so it's up to the group creator. You can have it reject it. It's not rejected by default. Yes. So if like if you have an O365 group of nested groups and someone is not a member of any of those groups, it can be it'll be rejected. The O365 group will be renamed, but as Stephen mentioned, the alias will still be the same. So you'll still be able to email the same group name. All right, everyone. Well, I think that's it. So like I said before, I really appreciate you guys coming out and joining us today. If you have any questions, absolutely send them our way. If you guys think of anything else that you want to add, absolutely let us know. Other than that, we'll go ahead and wrap it up. Thank you very much and have a great rest of your day.